good afternoon on this cold day if you're in the Midwest. It's with the wind chill, it's negative 40. Negative 40. It sounds cool, but really, that's just a wind chill. It is in the negative temp zone, so be safe out there. And also be safe if you're exiting a narcissistic abuse relationship. Now, for those of you who I've talked about this one-on-one, this isn't just because of you. It's actually because of a handful of you. I had this come up for a few people and had asked me, it's just coincidence. Sometimes it's weird, I'll get it in waves. Like sometimes I'll get the same topic that people, either my clients or somebody who's just inquiring in my inbox, I'll get like 2 or 3 questions along the same lines. So, always nice to do a video when that happens. So, I'm not going to get into, I've done other videos, they're old, you'll have to search for them. And I'll be doing new ones to reiterate those. I'm not going to get into the dynamics of a narcissistic abuse relationship and what it means to be in that relationship. The basics is, we're talking about cluster B personality disorders, which is histrionic, borderline personality, antisocial personality, or narcissistic personality disorder. All histrionics, borderlines, and all 4 of those are considered cluster B. They all are narcissists. All 4 of those are considered narcissists, okay? Because narcissism is a requirement for all 4 of those diagnoses. All right, so really just it's like narcissism in one form or another. Being just a narcissistic personality disorder person is the mildest of the 4. Okay, in cluster B personality disorder, people do not function like normal human beings. They're incapable of that, and so far we've not found a cure for it. So that being said, you're getting out of this relationship, and a lot of times the person continues to suck you into contact with them. They're continuing, even though the breakup's already happened, they're continuing to get you to have interaction with them. So you have to understand that when you break down what their motivations are, this actually becomes very simple to understand. Okay, they don't have normal human interaction, so they don't have compassion for other people. They don't have an ability to do that. So it all turns into fulfilling selfish needs, okay, and what we call supply. So their purpose in life beyond basic needs is to supply their ego. All right, so everything involves supply. So negative interaction, where you curse them out, you're mad at them, or you try to do something bad to them, or whatever, that becomes supply for that ego as well. All right, so any kind of reaction they can get from you is supply to a degree. They haven't stopped contacting you and they're continuing to try to get you to sucked into these arguments and situations and social interactions with them, because they basically have decided that they're not done with you yet. They feel like they can get more out of you in terms of supply, okay? So the only answer for that is to cut off the supply, which means to go no contact. That means, now once you do that to the narcissist, they're going to try to backdoor that contact. Probably they're going to try to get into contact with you any which way they can. They're going to try to use sympathetic language to get you to talk to them. They're going to try to use logic reasoning. They're going to try to use anything they can, and so you have to make sure that you release and let go of all ties. If you have any shared bills, if you have any shared situations with them, you have to release those, provided that you can, so that there is no angle for them to contact you. And if they continue to disrespect your boundaries, which they most likely will, because if it becomes a game to them to try to get you to supply them, then you have to go into things like personal protection order or no contact order from courts, changing numbers, blocking. Well, you might not need to change your number if you just block your number, you know what I mean? And some of these things. So just block them, block them on social media. You guys got mutual friends, doesn't matter. Your friends start talking about them, you don't want to hear about it. They're going to try to get people against you in your social circle. That's part of the game. Let them, because when you go no contact and you are not playing the game, other normal people will see that that they're the ones, that they're the ones who are the problem. Okay, they will eventually see that. If you're caught in a melodrama and trying to play a dramatic game with them, where you're going back and forth with them, other people on the outside of that often can't tell who is the narcissist and who isn't. You know what I mean? And these types of people can be very convincing. So the best way is to not entertain it at all. Once you cut off that supply, that is the most damaging thing you can do to the narcissist, and it stops any further damage that they can do to you. All right? So that is what you have to do. No contact. Now, what if you can't? Generally speaking, the only reason why you can't is children. All right? Unfortunately, people have kids with these people. And then you're kind of fucked, because there's always now a way of them having an entry into getting supply from you. So that leads to part 2 and 3 of this. So part 2 is to do not show or let them know that they have any emotional hold on you. In other words, just don't show emotion, period. Okay? Even angry emotion in all this is supplied to them. So when you interact with them, it's all business. That doesn't mean you sit there like a robot and talk like this. I don't have any emotion. Hello, let's talk about when I'm going to come visit the kid. No. I mean, that's obvious that person's still affecting you if that's the phone call. So just talk to them like you would talk to a normal person. But don't, they try to goad you into some kind of a negative, like trying to argue with you and all this stuff. Just hang up the phone. You know what I mean? Just say, well, I'll talk to you when you're in better state. And that's it. So just cut off the contact. If it starts to go negative, starts to get into an argument, it's going to be hard. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but here's what you have to do. Hey, when you're ready to talk about visitation with the kids, let me know. I'll try again tomorrow. That's it. No contact, right? Don't get upset. Don't cry. You know what I mean? Don't do any kind of emotion that is outside of just regular business. All right? Because that emotion will be supplied to them. Look, the reason you're trying to cut off supply is so that they go try to seek that supply elsewhere. All right? That's the main reason. They're seeking and getting supply from you. You want to let them know that you're no longer going to play that, and you're no longer going to be a source of supply for them. Okay? And so then they will move on to another mark. All right? But you may find yourself long broken up with this person, and a year later, 6 months later, whatever, they're going to contact you just to see if you'll respond to them. That's happened from a number of cases I know where for multiple years, their ex-narcissist would just contact them. A text, hey, what's up? An email, some weird backdoor effort. Like all the numbers could be blocked, and then it'll be from some friend's phone. Oh, hey, just got a different phone, or I'm on a different phone, just wanted to see how you're doing. Don't do it. Don't do it. Pretend they don't exist if you don't have children together, and that, again, that's the main thing where you're stuck. Don't rationalize. People will have shared bills, different things, and they'll rationalize. Well, I have to keep contact with them because we share this bill together. Stop sharing the fucking bill together. You know what I mean? Like, so then put the bill in one or the other's name or figure it out. Okay? Bills and money things can be figured out. Sitting on a bill and using that as an excuse to continue to contact your narcissist. And I say that because a lot of people that are victims of narcissistic abuse rely on the narcissist. They still want validation from their narcissist even long after the relationship is over. It's just part of that neural conditioning that happened during the dysfunction, you know? So, yeah, you know, don't give yourself that rationalization. Don't give yourself any reason to be in contact with this person, to include shared expenses, unless it's children. And then, of course, you can't get out of that one. All right? So, last thing is, so don't show emotion, go no contact. Now, assuming there are children, okay, and the don't show emotion thing also applies, like, if they start showing up at places they know you're going to be. You know what I mean? Like, you go to this coffee place all the time, and this person, you know, just shows up there. I'll pretend that they don't exist. You know, they come up to you, hey, how's it going? Just be like, oh, hey, what's up? Whatever, all business, and then move on. All right? You have to, any interaction you have with them is a strategy now at this point. It's not a normal human interaction. You have to look at it like a strategy, okay? That's how they interact with you, by the way. So don't think that there's any feelings that are normal, human being wise, in this, okay? So then the last part is, okay, is if it is something like with children and they're using that as a tool for manipulation, trying to prevent custody, different things like that, you have to make it, you have to set your limits and your boundaries. Try to put all communication through a third party if you can, like a social worker or a court system or a mediator of some sort, an attorney, if you can, all right, as much as you can. And then keep it all business, of course, but let them know, send them message through your actions that if they don't play within the boundaries, you're going to make their life harder. All right? That doesn't mean yelling at them and throwing emotions at them, because that's what they want. That's a form of supply. That means logistically making it harder for them. That means, okay, you're going to petition the court for lower child support, or okay, you're going to go to the court and use their behavior, you know, as evidence of them being an unfit parent. Like stuff like that. You go scorched earth. Okay, well, they start behaving, cool. I'm not going to go do those things now. We'll have a business relationship where I see the kids. Try to get your kids custody. Try to get at least 50-50 or more. The more you can get, the better with this sort of relationship, because this person who is not a normal human being is now raising your child. All right? And that's a problem. And this goes for you females as well as you males. Okay? I'm not just talking to males here. I'm talking to everybody. All right? So that's it. Those are the three things. Now, I mean, some of the people I've talked to, I know there may be some laws in your, because I talked to somebody internationally. I'll keep the name out of it. But I know there's some laws in certain states and certain countries, if you're a man, that is not in your favor as a man. Basically, the laws allow for someone, particularly, you know, the family courts, as far as dealing with the female, they're in certain places it's really bad for men, okay? It allows for females to exhibit narcissistic behavior and abuse even after the breakup and through the children, using the children as a tool. And there's no controls, there's nothing for that. And that really sucks. I don't have an answer for your situation when it comes to your laws because I'm not a legal expert. The only advice I can say is to get a hold of an attorney and run whatever you're going to do through that person. This is not you trying to hurt this other person. It's make sure it's not that way. I know you're going to be angry at that person. It's not about that. It's about your kids. All right? It's about the children that are involved. So make sure it's about that, and make sure that you're making decisions to strategize for that. Okay? Not to strategize to try to get in this situation where you're trying to harm the narcissist. Understand, when you are a narcissist dealing with narcissistic abuse, you trying to harm them is also supply. Okay, it supplies that ego. If you throw a rock through their window because you're mad at them, or key their car, for example, or curse them out on the phone, any of that shit, that is only supplying their ego. Deep down, they love it. Okay, and that will continue to foster more negative communication with that person, which is not what you want. So hopefully the video wasn't too long. You got through it. Hopefully it helps some of you. Thanks again. Take care and be safe.